In this video, we're going to learn how to open a new project in AccessMod and how to import data in it. I'm here in the user interface of AccessMod. So AccessMod has been installed first and has been started in the browser. And I have my interface. If I go in the project module, I have an open button here that allows me to open any existing project. You can see there is already one demo project that has been made in AccessMod after you install it that contain test data. But for the tutorial of AccessMod, we're going to open a new project. So you go on the new and you name your new project that I will name tutorial. And then the first thing that you have to do in order to set up this project is to import the DM, the digital elevation model, which is the raster dataset that contains the altitude. And all the other dataset that will be imported in AccessMod should really have the same extent and the same resolution than this DM. So I click on choose DM, and then I'm going to the data folder, which is in the file that you have downloaded from the accessmod.org website, and that contains all the datasets that I use for the tutorial. So I go in this data folder, and I go then in the folder rdmdm, which contains the raster dataset, which is a file with format img, and I click on open. This will import these datasets into my virtual machine, into AccessMod, and set up the whole project. Now it's done, everything went okay, and you can see in the map here that it indicates the extent and the location of that dataset, and which is a part of Malawi, so we are correct here in the southern part of Africa. Now that I have set up my project, and you see here the name of the project, which is tutorial, I can now import data in it. So I go into the data module, and here I can import data. You see this table on the right. This table will show every single data set that is either imported into AccessMod or that will be produced after each of the analysis that you can do in AccessMod. So for the moment, we have only one line. So for this video, I'm going to import three datasets: a raster dataset, a vector dataset in shapefile format, and a table dataset. Now, for the full tutorial, if you go on section 5.5.1 of the tutorial, and I'm showing you this now on the online version of the tutorial, and this section, it tells you the 10 datasets that you should import into AccessMod in order to go through the full tutorial. And you can see in this table that are three columns. The first column gives you the data class, and we're going to turn to that, of each of these datasets, and then the path to each of these datasets in your data folder. And then on the tags, you have the name of the datasets that you can input for the tutorial. So I'm going back to AccessMod, and we're going to start importing the land cover raster data. So the first thing I need to do, and this is very important to select the correct data class, is to select the data class of my land cover, which is the second one here. It's a raster because you have this small r, land cover, and you can see that below I have classes also for the table datasets and classes for the vector. So I select land cover, and then I put a name here for my imported dataset. I'm just calling it land cover. And I hit the choose and import data button. And I'm going into my land cover start folder that contains my land cover raster. I select it, open, it imports. And then what AccessMod is going to show you in this window is just information on your import a dataset. It gives you the resolution, here 1000 by 1000 meters, and some information on the projection here. You can see that actually it's in UTM zone 36 projection. So all is good. I can close that window, and now you see I have a second row here, which is my land cover dataset. Now I'm importing a table, and we're going to import a land cover table. This is a small Excel table that makes the link between the IDs of each land cover categories, which are numbers, and the name of these categories. I'll let you open that small file in your Excel or in any other tabular software. So I put here as a name land cover table, and I'm going to go to the T land cover folder here that contains these small Excel tables that I'm going to open, which imports that table. AccessMod check that everything is fine, and then adds it in this table. Now the last dataset I would like to import is a vector dataset, a shapefile, and we're going to import the facility shapefile. It's a point shapefile that contains the coordinates of each of the facility to which I'd like to analyze the accessibility. So I select V facility as the data class, and then I name it facilities. Then I'm going to import my shapefile. So I go in the V facility folder. What is very important is that when you, in AccessMod, when you want to import or select a shapefile, you must select all the files that compose the shapefile. So all the extension here, that's one shapefile, these 4 files all together. You have to select all of them. I click open, that's then importing this file. And I let you continue and fill this table with the other datasets that are described in sections 5.5.1. The last thing I wanted to show you is that on the toolbox module, interactive map, you can have a look at some of the raster datasets that you have just imported, just to ensure that they look, how they should look. So on the option here, and if you are connected to the internet, you can have some base map in the background. If I change here, it's just download different base maps from OpenStreetMap or other sources. I can also have my satellite imagery here, which could be useful as well. So this is the only part in AccessMod where you need to have an access to internet. And then on the raster, I can then select one of my raster. I have 2 here. Let's select the land cover, and then it will appear here with some random colors for each of the categories. And you can see that it looks okay, it's at the right place, and you can also change the opacity of it. And if you click in that raster, you can also see the coordinates and the value of each of these pixels. And of course, you can zoom in and zoom out. So that's it for this video, and we'll continue in the next video with the first analysis of AccessMod.